On a quiet Wednesday night, when the veil between questions and answers grows thin, one woman steps forward with a deck full of truth. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Pact Podcasting Networks welcome back the incomparable Lynn Sabulski, our giving partner, our guide, our teller of stories written in the cards. If you've got a question, let your fingers summon it. Type it into the chat and watch Lynn work her magic, asking the cards to speak with clarity, compassion, and just a hint of mischief. And if you want even more insight, you can find Lynn through Community Pay It Forward, where every reading helps support a mission you love. This Wednesday, step into the circle. The cards are waiting.
Hey friends, I've been thinking, we all have our strengths, right? There are things I'm great at and things I'm definitely not great at. I can talk to anyone, anywhere, but ask me to add something to a website or an app. Yeah, that's where things get a little messy. Oops, I love speaking. I love sharing stories. But social media, all those hashtags, algorithms, trends, that's a jungle I still haven't mapped out. Now, coming up with ideas that bring people together, that's my sweet spot. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I have agreed to stay in separate corners. And you know what? That's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, that's when the magic happens. Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every single one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us strong on our own. But imagine how powerful we become when we combine them. That's the heart of Community Pay It Forward. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working side by side to make a real difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's discover it together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her life, left at night, stepping out of her fear. Bring me home, out of love.
Welcome to Wednesday night. Welcome to Community Impact. My name is Zach Clayton. Community Pay It Forward. Come together, compass. It is so confusing. It's the come together compass in the Pact Podcasting channels. I'm the president. I founded them all because, I was looking for stuff to do. So, this is the second Wednesday of the month, which means we've got our really good friend Les Simpson joining us. He's going to be talking about three different things, as a matter of fact, and going to be talking about the program that we've been talking about getting the assessment so you know where you are, where your brain is telling you that you are set to be. Okay? This is your body. This is your being telling you this is a perfect place for you. Let's develop this and let's go. Then he also talks about a new wonderful program that's going to help you as an employer find the perfect way to get people with certain limitations due to ability issues, get them into your organization and utilize the power that they have. Why? We find out somebody has a deficiency in one ability and we decide they are not good enough to do anything, I'll never know. Because that one deficiency in one area, if a lifetime of being alive has taught me anything, when you lose one ability, others strengthen. So we need to think about that as business owners and as business people. And then third off, he's going to talk about a new opportunity to earn a little bit of income. We are going to start out tonight with a program that I started a couple weeks ago, but it disappeared for 5 days due to the flu. The program did not have the flu. Well, it kind of did. Well, since I'm the one who talks through the program, I guess it kind of did too. But I definitely had the flu, and it knocked me out for like 5 days straight. So, but what can you expect? It was snowing here in Colorado 6 days ago. And as I'm recording this right now, it is 81 degrees. And it is set to increase by at least another 10 degrees. How in the hell do we survive in this state? I don't know, sometimes. It's called What You Got. And this one today, we are really shouting out a wonderful, wonderful program, Dignified Dementia, who we still have a blanket and we're waiting for donors to give it away. So please, if you can, donate today. And eventually, when we raise enough money, when we raise at least 150, which was the ground level, we will be giving this blanket away to one person. Scan the QR code, donate today if you can. It would be more than appreciated. So please help us out. So, and I offer a promise in this video that I'm going to talk about a show that Adrian and I watched. Well, I'm actually going to do it after we watch the recording. So here is this morning's What You Got. Hey, good morning, everyone. Took some time off due to feeling a little ill, or a lot ill, whichever way you want to look at it. But we're back, and today is Donate a Wages to Charity Day, celebrated every year on the second Wednesday of May. And this year, that's May 13th, which is, well, today. This day was created back in 2009 by Eugene and Minhee Cho, a married couple who believed something simple could change the world. If each of us gave just one day's wages, we could transform thousands of lives. So let's begin today by thinking of others and answering the question, what you got?
Hi, friends, it's me, Barry. Good morning. It is a great day to come together and ask the question, what you got?
Sorry about that. Already glitching. You can definitely tell Zach is back. Speaking of that, my name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, the Come Together Compass, and the Pact Podcasting Networks. I do want to apologize for the 5-day absence. I was feeling a little bit ill. I know that this flu that's going around, it does not hit a lot of people, but the ones it does, watch out, because it's a fun one. So today we're going to be talking about something that, look, this is something that every single one of us wish we could do, okay? And it's not possible for a lot of people. I completely understand that. It's not possible for me. I couldn't do this. But the meaning behind it is great because it allows you to think of, okay, I can't give this, what can I give? So, and at the end of this episode, I want to bring up an episode of the show, of a show that Adrian and I watched last night that had an absolute wonderful message in it. And it really explains the need for one of our wonderful mission partners. So let's get started on what you got. This day is about kindness. It's about stepping up for the people who don't have the same opportunities. It's about remembering that generosity isn't measured by the size of the gift. It's measured by the heart behind it. Across the country and around the world, organizations host fundraisers, volunteer events, and community gatherings. People donate money. People donate time, donate skills, or simply donate a moment of compassion to someone else who needs it. Every act counts. This is exactly what I was saying earlier. Money is the root of all evil. We understand that. Every organization out there needs money. Every organization out there needs that financial backing. Everything you do costs a little money. And right now, folks, I completely understand. It sucks trying to do things that cost money. It's hard right now. That's why we need to think of alternative things. Things like making sure you have water in your car for someone who's struggling with the elements. Maybe a hoodie in your car to help people. And I never understood this concept until I talked to a wonderful individual who was wearing a hoodie while he was working outside. And it's because the sweat keeps your body regulated. I never understood that. So maybe somebody who's outside and they're battling the elements, or it just gets cold. Hey, it's going to be, Adrian just told me it's going to be 94 degrees today. It was snowing 6 days ago. And it was one of the worst snows we've had in Colorado this year. I'm not joking. It's ridiculous. So, take and box up some of that food in your old hillbilly Tupperware and go and give it to somebody who's out there who's struggling in the elements. Those are things that, yeah, they do cost a little money to make that, but you know what? Leftovers sit in your couch until they're no good. Why do that? Let's put it in a bowl, zap it in the microwave, take it to somebody in the community. So today, we're shining a light on one of the partners who embodies the spirit of this day. And you've heard me talk a lot about them. If you look wrong shoulder. If you look behind my shoulder right now, you'll still see the blanket that we're still trying to raise money for the Come Together Compass. Our wonderful friend, Jennifer Deserich from Dignify Dementia. If you'd like to donate, you could possibly win this blanket. We're going to give away that blanket. I'm telling you, we're going to do it. We need donations to do it. Dignified Dementia is a mission-driven organization dedicated to supporting individuals living with dementia and the caregivers who walk beside them every single day. They will provide cognitive wellness toolkits, community programs, education, and compassionate guidance for families navigating one of the hardest journeys anyone can face. Adrian and I are caregivers for my parents. My parents are highly functioning at times. We go through some pretty scary stuff with them, though. Monday of last week, my dad fell down the stairs coming down to my office in our living room. And we asked him what was he thinking. And he said, I don't know what I was doing. It's scary. It's really scary. I talked to Jennifer and told her some of my stories, and she completely gets it because she started this because of her father, Jim. They have a lot of stuff going on as well, but please do donate today, and you could be going home with this beautiful blanket. Families are the main caregivers in a lot of situations. And it is the hardest journey anyone can face. And just because it's family does not mean it's easy. Okay? Just because they are your kids does not mean it's always easy. You're living with something that others have no experience, no idea what it takes to live with. So you can find Dignified Dementia by scanning the QR code above and find them directly at dignifieddementia.org. Now, what you got? Our question of the day. If you could donate one day, not just of your wages, but your time, your talent, your heart, who would you choose to lift up today and why? If you could donate anything you wanted to someone today, who would it be? This is very important. I need you to tag them on whatever social media you're watching me on right now. Tag them and make sure that the most important thing you can do happens. And that means you share their name, because the worst thing for someone is to hear, I wish I would have known about you before ... happened. So please tag them. Like, share, and subscribe this video as well. If you're looking for a place to donate your day's wages, a place where you can contribute, Dignified Dementia is a great place to consider. So please check them out. They are, and you know, one of the easiest things that you can do, make a purchase with one of our partners using this QR code. Because when you do that, they get a portion of your purchase from whatever partner you have chosen to shop with. So thank you, Dignified Dementia, for being a huge part of our program. This is also Mental Health Month. So this is our Mental Health Month tie-in. And today's theme fits perfectly. Because when we talk about charity, when we talk about giving, when we talk about compassion, we often forget the people who give the most without ever asking for anything in return, and that is our caregivers. Caregivers are the quiet backbone of families and communities. They carry emotional weight, huge emotional weight. There is You got to remember, every caregiver is not only carrying their emotions, they're carrying someone else's emotions on their shoulders. It's tough sometimes, folks. Financial strain and the constant pressure of being the strong one. And too often, they do it alone. Thank God, we're not in that case here. We have each other. So today, as we talk about donating a day's wages, I want to challenge everyone to think about donating something else. Donate a day of support to a caregiver. Donate a day of listening. Donate a day of relief. Donate a day of understanding. And if you're a caregiver, hear this clearly. You deserve support. You deserve rest. You deserve the community. If you are a caregiver, and you can see this below, it's been streaming the whole time. We can provide specific we can provide specific places out there, but we don't know them all yet. That is our purpose. So we're not giving out any specific phone numbers right now, but here's a list of places where caregivers can find help. Local caregiver support groups through hospitals, senior centers, and community health organizations. Dementia-specific support groups offered by nonprofits like Dignified Dementia. Online caregiving communities that provide 24/7 connection and shared experience. General mental health support lines that offer confidential emotional support. Faith-based or community-based support circles. Employee assistance programs for those balancing caregiver with work. And if you're caring for somebody with dementia, Dignified Dementia is a strong starting point. Their programs, resources, and community connections help caregivers feel seen, supported, and understood. So today, on Donate a Day's Wages to Charity Day, ask yourself, what you got? What you got that can make someone's life easier? What you got that can lift a caregiver's burden? What you got that can help a family breathe a little easier? Whether it's a day wages or a day of volunteering or a day of compassion, it matters. And when you give through the Come Together Compass and the Community Pay It Forward program, your generosity becomes a lifeline for families, veterans, caregivers, and neighbors who need it the most. Today we are honored to present you with Donate a Day's Wages to Charity Day. We highlighted Dignified Dementia, the incredible work that they do for families and caregivers, and we tied into Mental Health Awareness Month by focusing on caregiver well-being. Because caregivers deserve support just as much as they provide to people they care for. And we remind everyone that giving isn't about the amount, it's about the impact. So I'd like to remind you, please never shut up because silence helps no one. Let's keep lifting each other up. One day, $1, one act of kindness at a time. If you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. Please remember, no one needs to walk this journey alone when we all come together. My name is Zach Clayton. Community Pay It Forward, the Come Together Compass, and Pact Podcasting Network saying thank you so very much. And we will, God willing, see you tomorrow. Thank you so very much. See, I don't quite get it. I was able to say Come Together Compass then. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But it happened. All right, folks. Next up, it's our buddy for his monthly show, Mr. Les Simpson. Of the month, which means one thing, the wonderful Mr. Les Simpson. You can get a hold of Les. You can find all of his contact information by scanning the QR code above his head, and that's his little partner badge. You can go on there, you can find out all the information, or you can simply say, hey, Zach, you were talking to that Les guy. Could you make an introduction for me? And I will say, sure, yeah, gotcha. And we can do it that way. Les, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Hey, like I was telling you in the green room, got caught by the flu, and it decided to take and grab me and hold on to me tight for a couple days. Feeling a lot better now, though. But
Good.
so yeah, so on the mend.
Good. Glad to hear it. Actually, I think I will send you one more link while I'm here.
Okay. So you have a bunch of new stuff going on.
Well, part of it's new and part of it's just in addition to.
Okay.
Let me show you here. Yeah, there's. Okay, that's the third one. That'll do it. Okay, one of the things I want to mention to everybody as far as the assessment goes, to get people, companies to do the assessment. Unfortunately, I've found that it's more important at this point for companies to lay people off because of the artificial intelligence rather than worrying about them being longevity, which is really sad. But that's what our new time is. But one of the things I've also found is, and I knew this before, but I've given out 2 assessments since we met last for coaches. And it's phenomenal for coaches because it actually teaches them things they didn't know about themselves. And when both the person coaching takes it and the person that's being coached takes it, it shows how they can connect with each other in ways they didn't realize. And so it really improves their coaching. And so I'm going to be concentrating on that instead of trying to get into companies. Anybody that's in an advisory position needs to take the assessment and have the person they're advising take it. Give you an example of that. If a financial advisor does not have the assessment and they don't know that the person is safety minded and is a realist and is an analyst, and they convince them to get into an investment and it does not go the way they want, they've lost the confidence of the person because it's a deep feeling hurt and cannot be recovered, and the person will be gone to find somebody that understands them. Now on the other side, if the person is risk, future, and a adapter, and the financial advisor gives them something that's moderate and it does not produce what they want, they're going to be also very upset because they're a risk taker and they want to risk to get the most potential. And so we have both situations. So the financial advisor loses clients on both sides because they don't understand them. And there's no way they can understand them because a person can't voice it. I like to have return. That's about as far as I can say. And so this assessment really will do that. The other thing it does is help a coach connect. And now I'm gonna, in fact, I'm gonna give you an example. This video that we're gonna play is 4 minutes long, and it's from a coach that's been coaching for 30 years. And when he saw this and I explained to him, he said, wow, I had not realized I'd been doing that. And it excited him. In fact, he has a coaching program. He teaches coaches. And the assessment is going to be part of it now. So for people that want to understand themselves much better and how to connect with clients. So let's go ahead and play this 4 minute.
Well, let me ask you, and let me kind of explain a little bit to people who it may have gotten a little bit muddy there for a second. But
Sure.
The first person that you're talking about, if you're an investor, if you're somebody who likes to take risk, you're going to scare them off, and they're going to pull their money. You know, another thing is they're just not going to stick with you, because that first person who tends to be a little more cautious, little more less risk, they don't want somebody who's going to go in there and just take every, high risk, high reward. They want something that is more of a, low risk, slow burn. We've got it here. Where the second person, they may be a younger individual who says, you know what, I ain't gonna die tomorrow. Going ahead and let's throw money at it. Let's see what works. And so you really have to, and if you come at them with something that, look, here's something that, you might see $1 every month, but it's going to be steady and it's going to be $1 every month that's going to grow. One person is going to see that as wonderful. Somebody who's in, upper age brackets might see that as more of a choice than somebody who's younger, right, Les?
Correct.
So, but and we wanted to play the video first, you said.
Yeah, go ahead and play the video.
Okay, let me find it real quick. And
It's called the motivated role. And I'll explain
there it is. We've got the sound on. Make sure we've got the sound on. I'm going to take Les and I off the screen right now. Please enjoy.
We'll start with the motivated role. Motivated role is a point where a person becomes motivated in a given project, but also includes the point where they lose motivation. If you've ever observed a relay race at a track or swim meet, you know that each leg of the race requires athletes with distinct specialties. The first runner or swimmer needs to be the most explosive, quick off the starting block, and driven to get out in front as early as possible. The second and third must be coordinated at taking the handoff of the baton and carefully timing their starts so as not to leave too early or too late. The final athlete or anchor is usually the one who responds best to the pressure of the final lap, knowing that the race is theirs to win or lose. In this particular case, the client is a dominant designer as well as a dominant refiner. Now, this particular combination is half in on the research and development creative area, but also half in on the systems and structure aspect. The designer is primarily fulfilled by making a worthwhile idea practical for the first time. The designer wants to get an idea up and running to show that it works, but then likes to hand things over to someone else to implement and maintain. This refiner role is a startup role, and those who seek it tend to get bored once they have to do the same thing over and over. Now, they also are fairly dominant on the refiner role, and that is primarily fulfilled by maximizing the potential of an existing product or service, shaping it into a system that is consistent and productive. Quality is the name of the game. If there is additional potential to extract from a person, program, product, or organization, the refiner stays motivated. But once that maximizing objective has been achieved, the refiner loses interest and wants to hand things off to a custodian. In this particular situation, we have a bit of a quandary. The designer over here is really all about the creative and coming up with an idea and being able to sort of think it through and get it to the prototype stage. Whereas the refiner is more suited over here with the maximizer, trying to get the most out of something, making it perfect, having a very critical view of how things are, making sure that they are as good as possible. A dynamic that is possible with this particular design is a back and forth that goes between the refiner and designer. The designer comes up with the idea. The refiner says, oh, it's not quite right, kicks it back to the designer. And you get what's known as a ping pong effect of making the final decision to actually implement something. Now, sometimes the implementation is fairly straightforward and easy, and the designer can push it over the end zone, or the refiner can drag it over the end zone. But with something that's new, something that's uncertain, something that's not proven or a sure thing, you get this constant conflict between the new idea and it not being quite right. So oftentimes what will really be beneficial in this particular situation is when a person with this design is partnered with a dominant developer. This person has to be at least 60 or more percent developer, and ideally has some leadership attributes to be able to help the client be able to understand that something is good enough to be implemented. It may not be perfect, refiner, but it's good enough. Motivated role is the very first of our complementary assessments on the basic assessment side of things. We'll now go down to
Ended a little abruptly. I wasn't expecting it. Let me ask you a question, Les. I was just writing this down. And you are still on mute, my friend. Just to let you know. But what is the difference between? There we go. What is the difference between taking this this assessment and going on one of those professional sales courses? Okay, one of those sales classes, those seminars that you spend, like, come and sit in a classroom with us for a week and we're going to teach you how to sell water to fish. What is the difference between taking this assessment and the way that they teach you which characteristics you have?
Sure. Well, first off, those have a lot to do with questions trying to find out who the person is. It has to do with trying to figure out the foundation of them, and that's where this assessment shows the foundation. They don't have to do the gold mining. They don't have to try to figure out if the person's going to tell them the truth. Because sometimes when people ask people questions and they're vulnerable, they will not answer it correct, or they'll hedge on it because they don't want them to know where they're needy and could be open to the person. So when they take this and so forth, you immediately, for instance, know. And a lot of times people have been told so much of who they're supposed to be, or that they're supposed to want to make a lot of money. It's just like we were talking about before. If the person says, yeah, I'd like to make a lot of money, and the financial advisor says, let's go for it, but he doesn't realize this person's safety, and he's more concerned about taking care of all the foundation, and his father-in-law told him, you better make money, and so forth. So this allows a person to connect with a person's foundation instead of the fluff and getting to the bottom, if that makes sense.
Okay, okay. I I do find it interesting, and I don't know why I never really thought of it, but when you said it, it makes a lot of sense to me, and that people in those, in those questionnaires, yeah, they tend to, they tend to stretch the truth a little bit because they're almost afraid of the answer, or they're afraid of who they will portray.
Yep.
They don't want people to know, hey, yeah, I'm not a take charge kind of person. I'm a follower. I'm not a leader. You know, uh, I think this person's looking for a leader, and so I'm going to portray that leader, even though that's not where I set. So
Yeah.
that's a really interesting point.
And to
So
that point, that's one of the reasons that the Fortune 500 loved this assessment. Is there was a lot of people that came in, tried to get jobs in the Fortune 500 because it was the Fortune 500. Well, this assessment has a lot of um, uh, checks and balances. People can't lie through it. And so it immediately shows, in fact, if they try, then we'll tell people, well, something's not right here. Some of this is not making sense. And so we'll have them redo it. Because it does have a lot of checks and balances for people that want to get employment just to get employment.
yeah, well, I do. Again, I think that having that as the as a uh, background on that, to where you can't, and I don't think people often go through and try to lie like outwardly lie on resumes or stuff, but boy, we sure do try to pad it every way that we can, so having that assessment, I can see that as being a very, very good idea. um, and what is it that your assessment says about you?
That um, I'm highly motivated to take a creative team and solve whatever problem needs to be done.
Okay, okay. And did you have any problems with that? Like when you heard that assessment, did you say, "Well, I'm not sure if that's quite true," or was there anything on it that you were like, or
No,
were you all in agreement in it?
well, it opened up areas, my understanding, that made sense that I didn't realize before. I'm the refiner. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the one that takes an idea once it's actually making money and figure out how to make it less expensive for the company and more profitable for the client. I'm not the person that comes up with it. I'm not the person with it's. I'm not the creator, and I'm
You're
not
not
the
the
designer,
creator, yeah.
yeah, or the designer, or the developer. I'm not the one that has to get it going. I'm the one that improves it. And what's interesting is when I see it in black and white, I think, yeah, now that makes a lot of sense of the way I've been operating, which I didn't realize it was. So and that's one of the things. My wife also, she said, this nails me. I didn't realize why I was soft in these areas, and that's what this does. That uh, allows you to see who you really are.
I, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think one of the other things that this would allow you to do is it would allow you to be able to strengthen yourself in
Yes.
ways that you wish that you were a little bit stronger, because
Yep.
you're not set into being this person that this assessment tells you, right? If that's not who you want to be, you can
Actually,
change.
no, this actually is potential. If it says you are not a creator, you can't become one. The This, it shows the potential, the foundation inside of us. It's not like the Myers-Briggs and so forth that can change every 9 months. This is, in fact, they tested it. It's the only one that's tested from 16 to 65, where people actually took it 9 months later and took it 18 months later. It was the same thing. It's a foundation of who you are, not not who you can change to be.
Okay.
In
That's
fact, that's one of the things that I wanted to mention. That video we watched. There's a coach that's been in the business 30 years. And when I showed him this and so forth, and I told him how it works, and he says, this makes a lot of sense on how I've been coaching. He says, I didn't realize it, but what he is he's the designer and he's the refiner. He's not the developer. And he says, I design these methods for businesses. They're the ones that have to take the action and put it forward, and then we find out what doesn't work or what needs refining. And he says, this makes a lot of sense. And he didn't realize it. And it also showed him on another part of it that he's half and half, so he can actually work with a person that's 100% designer, because that's half him, and have a relationship with them because it's half of him, if that makes sense.
okay. Well, and I guess the other thing that it does do is it helps you hire people who are going to, accomplish the other things that
Exactly.
you are showing that you're not
Exactly.
for that area.
Yeah.
So, you have a couple other things that you
Sure.
sent me that you wanted to talk about. What
Yeah.
would you like to
Two
talk
things.
about next?
One, I'm now part of a nationwide directory, and it's specialneeds.help. Uh, and if you know anybody, the reason I'm part of this is because there's certain employers that want to hire special needs people, but they want to make sure that they can do what they say. And so we're going to be working with the employer, paying for the person to take the assessment. And so,
Oh,
and this is a new directory, by the way. It's only 3 weeks old, and it's also already getting tremendous publicity. The biggest TV station in New York did a deal on it. It went from 250 hits a day to 2,500. Now it's over 3,000. And we're looking for employers that want to hire them. And different professionals can be on here to connect with the special needs. But anybody that let everybody know this is out here, because it's the most comprehensive directory. If you have a certain disease or whatever that makes you special needs, you can go on here and find out all kinds of information for it. We have people from Italy and Germany and so forth that speak English, of course, because it's only English. The finding out information. So I wanted to let everybody know this, and I'm going to be on there as a vendor for it. It helps people get to college. It helps everything in this. Another thing is for caregivers for special needs, and this assessment will show them if they have the heart for caregiving. That's one of the things also that the assessment does. Uh, and so I just want to let everybody know this. So if you want to check it out, feel free, specialneeds.help, and see if you can be part of it if you want to be part of it. if you want to be a volunteer, if you have connections in the states to the associations or groups that work with special needs, we'd love to have you as a volunteer to connect them with it, because we want somebody in each state to handle that.
That is something that anytime that I talk to somebody who has an interest in helping people, in which I got a couple of people that I need to introduce you to you because of this program. But there are so many people who hear the words people with special needs, and they get scared. They think, well, this person, this person has this affliction. I can't hire them. They seem like they're smart. They seem like they're brilliant. They seem like they're all of these things, but I can't hire them because they're special needs, without knowing anything about what that special need would be.
Yep.
What does that mean? I mean, it just means, look, I would need an office that I can keep darker. Obviously, that's one of the things that I have to do to control my headaches.
Right.
That is something that could be easily done by someone. If if that's where it went to. I mean, I can't be in a room with a ton of people running around, so you wouldn't want me in like a call room, with 500 different people who are talking. It just helps place people in environments for success, not just for them, but for you and your company. And so it's, I think that this is a winner here. I think this is something that I definitely, send my wishes to you on. This would be, this
Sure.
is amazing. So.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny. Just a couple weeks ago, I came up with a document to hand out to people that just gives them, what for March, as a matter of fact, is when I came up with it. And it was a document that I gave to people who are considering hiring people with head injuries. And they could take and they could fill it out, and you ask certain questions. What are some of the things that need to make the day easier for you? Larger print? Is it is it learning by voice? Is it hands-on training? Stuff like that. And this is very similar to that.
Yep. Now, third part, and everybody online can take advantage of this. There's a new group or business group being formed right now. It's formed. It's called the Wealth Exponential, and it's business collaboration. And to explain it, and you can join this free, and that's why I said, as far as Zach, after this, join it. There's in fact, on home, scroll down, and I want to show you who's behind this. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. This gentleman, scroll up a little bit so you can see. There we go. Dr. Robert Needham is, as you can see, he's on USA Today, and he's on MSN, he's on CEO Weekly. He has built many businesses. In fact, my assessment is going to be using his coaching program. He had when he was in an insurance agency, he was the number 2, and he had 8,000 agents across the country, and he did over $100 million in insurance every year. And so, needless to say, he knows business, and he has built other businesses. He was the international speaker for the Franchise Association. And now what he's doing, and that's why he's on these covers, is a new business model. where businesses don't have to be alone anymore. It's called collaboration. Everybody can join this free. And there's going to be, well, to give you an idea, there's a business association with 1,000 businesses, a black association that's bringing all their members here. We have a network marketing company that does $50 million a year. They're going to be joining this. Because if you've always wanted your business to have connections, you're paying for advertising now. You don't have to pay for advertising anymore. In fact, let me ask you a question, and that is, if you only had to pay an advertising cost when somebody bought from you, that'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is. You sign up that when somebody buys from you from this group, you pay 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever you want, into a pool. And then when you buy from other people, the other businesses on this platform, they pay 5, 10, 15%, whatever, into a pool. This is an affiliate program. You can bring in other businesses. And the three ways you make money immediately on it is people buy from you, you buy from others, you bring in affiliates, and people buy from them. And all this puts money into a pool. And through that, you get certain points. And after like 3 months, it's going to be 3 months right now, they're going to distribute the pool. And depending upon how many points that you've built up by selling your stuff, buying stuff, or getting people in, you get so many points, and all this money in the pool gets distributed. Now, there's 3 levels. There's free, there's $9, and there's $29. The $29 gets you 2 things, the others 2 don't. $29 a month. First off, you get to have your own group on our social media. And so if you have a group and you want to talk to them and you want them to have them special, you have your own. 2, you have a corporate page. I'm going to have to see if it's SEO connected so people can find you. But the third part, and this is huge, they're going to have a CRM that has the artificial intelligence. It will email for you, it will text for you, and it will call for you. And people pay $300-400 a month for those things. This is all included in the $29. And so anybody that knows businesses, and by the way, if you know a business association, you can bring in the whole one and you get connected to all 100 or 1,000 businesses who are in it. And so I've got 2 or 3 business associations that I'm going to be talking to of bringing them in. And this is just the start. But the people that are behind it are extremely experienced business people, like Dr. Needham. And and it's connected in ways you couldn't possibly think. It's an opportunity for everybody. And the only thing that you have to pay is the $29 a month until you sell something. And then it's 5, 10, 15% of the sale, every single sale that you do on the platform. Questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, this is this ready, up and ready to go, or
Yes.
or is okay?
So
And
you sign up,
going
and
ahead.
yeah, you can sign up, and now it is going to have a new website, and the CRM is going to be connected by the end of this month. But right now, you can sign up and bring other people in and so forth now, and you can sign up free, and so there's no barrier. And if you signed up free and you sell your stuff to somebody, again, you pay the 10 to 15%, and then the money goes into the pool. So that part's active now. The part that isn't active right now is the CRM, and it should be active by the end of the month.
Oh, okay. There was a little video on that, Les. It was about 7 minutes long. Do you want me to play that with him?
Sure, you can play it.
All right, let's go on ahead and do that. I'll pull Les and I off the screen again, and we're going to go on ahead and play this video to learn a little bit more about we and this program that Les was talking about.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington. I'm an original shark from the hit show Shark Tank. Courts is where passion for sports meets entrepreneurial success. Tap into the opportunity and start generating revenue with their proven franchise system. And joining me today is owner David Klembeth. David, thank you for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So in your words, what is Courts?
Yeah, I'll give you a little backstory to it too. I started my California company about 26 years ago, and kind of fell into that. I'm actually a tennis player by trade. I spent 20 years trying to be the next Agassi, and played junior tennis, played at Pepperdine, Arizona, played on the tour for a few years, and got up to about 500 in the world. And then I realized when I wasn't going to be the next Agassi, I needed to pivot and find something else to do.
Gotcha.
So I actually fell into this by finding some courts I was teaching on, and I figured out how to redo these courts. And the next thing you know, I started using my contacts. I knew everyone in tennis, right? So
You're redoing tennis courts.
Redoing tennis courts.
Wow.
So I started that process, which, you know, it took a long time, a lot of trial and error in the early days, finding out all the marketing, the different categories, the different vendors, product knowledge, getting my licenses, all that stuff.
Yeah,
and then,
nice.
you know, slowly but surely, I learned the business, had a lot of great mentors, and you know, by a few years into it, I started getting into my lane, and it's a huge niche.
Yeah.
So 20 years later, got one of the biggest companies in California doing this.
That's awesome, because I know in the franchising world, 85% of franchisors never get past 10, right? But you sold 24 in your first 18 months, which is historic. It must mean there's success happening somewhere here in the process. So what exactly do you do?
First of all, I did this business for that 20 years, and then about 5 years ago, pickleball blew up on the scene, right?
Right.
And I don't like to say it doubled or tripled, it quadrupled the business and just exploded. So I started talking to vendors around the country. There was a demand everywhere. And I had a friend that was in franchising. So he knew a franchise specialist that his team came to California, and we spent a weekend looking at it. He thought it was one of the most bullish things he's seen in a long time. He's done over 350 franchises, brands, and came up with the name. We took our time and launched it, and about 10 months in, we went out, we signed our first franchise in 24. In 2025, we've signed 23 more. We created a package where everyone could get up in their lane, start making money immediately, low overhead, training skill sets from the beginning, and it's continuing to grow. And one of the biggest things about it is, you know, there's a lot of these new clubs coming, pickleball clubs, all these ventures everywhere, but we're the ones that maintain these things. We're the ones that do the building, the surfacing. We even started a whole maintenance program that, you know, no one's ever been in this space that was they're either in their region or their state.
Gotcha.
No one's ever taken it nationwide, and that's what we're doing.
You're at the right place at the right time. As pickleball was exploding, you're helping people get into business in this arena. And so, you know, when I think about it, a lot of franchises cost a lot of money to build, you know, brick and mortar locations, et cetera. This is a mobile franchise, so you don't have all that overhead. This is something that can generate revenues quickly and not have the overheads of brick and mortar.
Correct, yeah, and we've had people actually do sales before they've even come to training and had jobs waiting for them when they get back. And what it is it's a low entry point, and a truck is what you need to start. Some people enter this field, whether they're contractors or they're owner-operators or they're investors. They come in, and the truck's what's needed. There's about $8,000 to $10,000 in tools. Some people have them. You might need some of them.
Yeah.
But you get up and you can start making money immediately. It's lead generation program we started and
Nice.
a CRM process we have that's, it's amazing. It's stuff that
Beautiful.
I never had when I started.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it allows people to really get out there right away, start making money. People have paid back their franchise fee in the first few months.
You've assembled all the tools to help people be successful in a growing industry. And I wonder, do you allow investors to be absentee owners then?
We do.
Is that
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
that works?
Yeah. So there's two parts. There's owner operators, obviously, contractors that maybe they're adding another division. We have people that have come from complete different space and have learned the trade and then hire people to do that work. But then we even have, I call it in my franchise firm, he wrote a book called Investment Grade Franchising.
Oh, wow.
I can give you a copy of it too.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Dr. Robert Needham.
There you go. Nice book. Thank you.
And so how we've developed it, because the margins are so big and there's so much opportunity, we've created it for investors to, invest in the franchise.
Right.
And then have managers that manage the whole marketing strategy, procurements, bids, contracts, all that stuff, and then operators in the field. And so hands-off investors can have these people in place to run the business and yet get a return that's as good as a lot of other investments out there.
Because Courts what you're doing is helping business owners get into the business of pickleball and other kinds of opportunities that involve, courts like a pickleball court, correct?
Yes. It's all the sports too, because I like to say that pickleball obviously made it franchisable, of course.
Right.
It's just, that's not going anywhere, and it's still going upwards. It's still trending upwards. There's no slowing it down. I'm doing a job at a pickleball kingdom in Sacramento where they've taken a Big Lots and converting it into 11 pickleball courts.
Beautiful.
There's 300 of these funded around the country.
Yes.
Now, these are multi-billion-dollar facilities that are, there's dozens of these brands.
Yeah.
And so, but the key to our thing is, I don't know how saturated that'll get or how well that'll last, but we're the ones that maintain them.
There you go.
So we're the ones, and again, we're the only national brand, and that's what we're building now, is that household name with Courts that
Beautiful.
you can either, construct, repair, resurface, maintain, and we even offer financing as
Construct, repair,
Maintain. Yep.
and all of the above, right?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, David, this is a great opportunity. It's a growing industry. So, David, thank you for being with us today and
Yeah,
sharing
pleasure.
your
Appreciate
story.
it, yeah.
This is a great opportunity that's growing rapidly. So, thanking David, but also want to make sure that you visit courts.com to get started. Thank you very much.
So let me ask you this, Les. Where was the coalition in that? It sounds like that is part of the company. Is that the entire company? You're still on mute, my friend.
The purpose of that was to show the history of Robert Needham. He was the international speaker for franchises. He developed this book to show people how to get into franchise that really turned around in a couple years. And that's why he's on the cover of USA Today and MSN Business, because this new business coalition is the future of business. And if you are a business person and want to be part of it, it's going to be a community that basically is a guaranteed lead system. In fact, if you can think of, like for instance, this network marketing company coming forward, it has $50 million a year in revenue. How many of those agents and so forth want to buy your services? And so that's what, and again, you can join free. You can have people buy from you and you can buy from them free. You don't have a monthly. If you want your own group, if you want to be leader, if you want to have the CRM system, $29 a month. And again, they're not trying to monetize any of the support system. What they want to do is get people in there and pay their 5, 10, 15% for every sale. And then everybody supports everybody else. In fact, as I've told the people, can you imagine bringing in your major competitor and actually profiting off of their sales.
That would be a lot of interesting conversations. I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah.
but wow, Les, you got all kinds of new things going here. 1 month, man, 1 month.
Yeah.
We got a lot to catch up on all this. So, I'll give you the last word for anything that you've got today.
Well, I think that's it. Number one, again, the assessment is there. It's going to be used in a lot of different ways. Whatever you want to refer me on that. Again, the assessment's $275. It's the only one that has the video analysis of all the parts inside of us. But let's really support the specialneeds.help and get in and support yourself with wealth and exponential. It's hard for me to read this, say that. And and join my team. I mean, that's what it's all about. I've been in sales training for 40 years, and it's just like that assessment of me on the 6 minutes says, I can handle a team. I can help you get there. And now we got the tools. So everybody on Zach's membership ought to get in this if you want clients.
Sounds good. And I'll have all these links in the description of the video that you're watching right now. I do want to make sure that everybody does like, share, subscribe. And once again, like I said in the beginning of this, it's a very, very simple process to get a hold of this, man. All you got to do, scan the QR code. Let me make it a little bit bigger and easier for you to read there. Don't want to cover less, but going ahead and scan that QR code. It's also going to be in the thumbnail of this video. Going ahead and scan that QR code. I'll make an introduction to you. All you have to do is reach out to me. It's Zach, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. Zach, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. Unless, how do people, if they don't want me part of the conversation, how do they get a hold of you, my friend?
You broke up.
Oh, I'm sorry. How do people get a hold of you if they don't want me to be part of that conversation?
Sure. It's right there, Les at csccourse.com, or my cell phone's 303-579-6881. And of course, my calendar is also on Zach's website. You can set an appointment with me. And but one of the things I want to end with, if you know people in special needs, we're looking for leaders and organizations and so forth to lead this in each state. So if you know the biggies that have the organizations and so forth, special needs, they need to be on the directory, and we will get them. They'll get tremendous exposure. Companies, news services and so forth are getting interviews with Phil and Adam are the two co-founders, and they're being interviewed all the time, and the board members. And so let's get some help. And everybody have a good day.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so important to remember that just because somebody's got disabilities does not mean they have no ability. They actually have a lot of ability that if you're not taking advantage of, you're losing out on. So Les, I will see you next month, my friend. So that was it. That's our meeting with Les this month for May. I want to thank you very much. But the one thing that I've got to get done, and I forgot to do it right after the What You Got episode. I did it again. Adrian and I last night, and I've got to turn down some of these lights, so hold on for just a second, if you will. That's just brutal. I was trying to trying to string a fishing reel, and I needed the light. Much better. Adrian and I last night were watching a wonderful show on Amazon Prime. And it's called Transplant. And it's about a doctor that comes from the Middle East. And he couldn't be a doctor at first. There was an accident. And he ends up saving the head of an ER. They ends up saving his life. And he becomes a doctor. And it's a wonderful show so far. We're only in the first 2 episodes, and it's got to be one of my favorite shows I've ever watched. It's fantastic. I love it. One of the things that really struck me on the episode that we watched last night was the message, and was one of the patients, and it was a young lady who was having issues with pain. And this meant a lot because I have a friend who was in similar situations. Every time she went to the doctor, she was told, "You're fine. There's nothing we can do about it. Here's a pain pill. Go home, rest." To where it literally, and I'm not joking about this, it literally ruined portions of her life. Aziza Project is one of the mission partners that we work with who helps women be heard. Because unlike with this show, not all the women are found to have a problem. They're pushed on, they're pushed out, and they're pushed away. And instead of finding the help that this actress found, they end up living with horrible, horrible, debilitating pain. So, 2 things. If you've got Amazon Prime, look up the show Transplant. Wonderful show so far. Wonderful show. Second off, with today being donate a day's wage, another program that I would ask you to check out is the Aziza Project. You can find their information by scanning this code. I want to thank you all very much for joining us. Happy Wednesday. Happy rest of the week. Please remember, Red Friday is coming up. Do you have your red shirts? You can go on to communitypayitforward.us and you can get a brand new shirt on the website. Just get it, support it. It's not about a political party. It's not about a religion. It's not about a war. It's about the boys and girls, the men and women who give up a portion of their freedom to go and stand in as unpopular as this is. They're standing up for their country. They join their country to do the right thing. Once they sign that piece of paper, folks, they don't have any say on where they go. You need to understand that. And damn it, get that clear. Once they sign that piece of paper, they don't have any decision on where they go. Wear Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. I gotta go. My name is Zach Clayton. Community Pay It Forward. The Come Together Compass. I got it. Back Podcasting Networks. Please love somebody out there because somebody out here loves you. Thank you very much for joining me. And remember, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.